everyone, I am Natysha and this is my teammate Reshma. Today, we will be analysing the main character of The Curse written by Lee Soo-an, Azreen Saleh. Our goal is to explore how Azreen's physical and emotional traits, her relationship, motivation and key turning points shows her growth as a powerful and emotional character from this novel. She isn't someone who just uncovers a mystery. She's someone who finds the truth, faces the pain and ultimately learns to forgive and heal. Azreen is not your typical village girl. She is blunt, emotionally complex and stands out in a community that believes to superstitions and tradition. From the moment she returns home from England, her secrets start to unfold one by one, not just in her village but also in her heart. She struggled with the past, her distant family ties, the jealousy towards her sister, and her deeply seated guilt feeling over the years. Our thesis is that Azreen represents the struggle between reasons and tradition, and her emotional journey from anger to acceptance teaches us that healing is possible, but only through the truth. Azreen's physical appearance reflects her inner personality. She has a very tomboyish look with a short pixie cut hair and she wears practical clothes, which is a direct contrast from the tradition and feminine expectations of her village. And characters like Puan Nurmala even criticize her for being too different. Psychologically, Azreen is sharp, curious and independent. She studied in the UK and thinks critically, refusing to accept things blindly. But under that confident surface, she is battling a serious emotional wound, her guilt over her sister's disability, a deep longing for her father's affection and a fear of abandonment. These layers make her feel real, not a perfect heroine, but someone who's brave enough to face the hard truth. Azreen is a character with both admirable qualities and personal flaws, which makes her feel relatably real. So let's look into her strengths. Azreen is a critical thinker. She doesn't blindly believe in village gossip or superstitions. Instead, she questions what are the fear to speak about. For example, when the whole village believed that Madhuri's death is caused by a curse, Azreen investigates the truth using logic and reason. She is also independent and self-reliant. She chooses to study in England, showing that she wants to build her own future. She doesn't depend on others emotionally, even though she deeply craves for support. Her independence is a reaction of being treated as the lesser daughter compared to her sister. She is also empathetic and caring. Azreen may appear rude or defensive, but she deeply cares for the people who are close to her. She protects the old lady from the villagers' hate. She comforts Ashraf after his grandmother passed away and even shows compassion to her father by the end of the novel. She is also resilient. Despite the pain that she goes through, losing her sister, being judged by the villagers and losing the old lady, she never gives up. She keeps going even when she feels like isolated or emotionally overwhelmed. Her resilience is what allowed her to grow into a stronger person. And she is also morally courageous. Azreen speaks up against the wrong, even if it means she has to face the shame and anger from the villagers. She defends those who can't defend themselves, like the old lady. Her courage is not just physical, it's moral, and that's much more powerful. Now, let's look into Azreen's weakness. She is a hot-tempered girl. Sometimes she lets her emotions get better of her. She argues with her father, clashes with Puan Nurmala, and struggles to stay calm during tense moments. She is also emotionally guarded. She keeps her feelings hidden, especially when it comes to love or vulnerability. For instance, she never looks to express her feelings to Ashraf and struggle to talk openly with her parents. She also have a guilt-ridden inside of her. She blamed herself for many things: her sister's injury, her mother's health, and their family problem. This guilt weighed heavily on her and affect how she sees herself. She is also very stubborn. When she believes she is right, she can be difficult to convince otherwise. Sometimes her stubbornness helps her stand strong, but other times it stops her from being understanding about other people's pain and intentions. She is reckless in pursuing the truth. Her desire to uncover the secrets and speak the truth leads her into dangerous situations. For example, she doesn't always think about the consequences of confronting villagers or pushing her father for answer. While her bravery is admirable, it sometimes borders on recklessness. There are few key moments that outline shows how Azreen changes and matures throughout the novel. Returned home for Madhuri's funeral is the starting point of Azreen's transformation. Her return forces her to face painful family memories, unresolved emotions, and the tense in her village environment. This triggers everything that follows in the story. Azreen refused to accept the village superstitions at face value. She started to dig about the truth, showing her logical thinking and bravery. This part of her development shows that she won't be silenced by fear or tradition. The major turning point was when she learned that her father killed her sister. Discovering the truth, she reacted with rage. She begins to understand her father's regret. This moment shows her emotional growth, maturity, and her empathy side. The old lady is like a mentor or emotional safe space for Azreen. When she dies, it devastated Azreen, but instead of seeking revenge, Azreen chooses calmness. This marks a major leap in her emotional development. She learns to control her anger and to accept things. By the end, Azreen returns to England, but not to run away like how she did before. Now, she lives as someone who had made peace with the past, her family, and herself. This shows that her journey has come to a full cycle. She has grown, matured, and healed.
So slide 5 is about relationship and interactions. So about Azreen, Azreen's character is shaped by her relationship. Her father was cold and distant, but after learning his painful secret, she developed empathy. And her mother is quite traditional and quiet. That silence motivates Azreen to fight for her own voice. She used to envy Madhuri, but later sees her struggles and realizes that appearance can hide pain. The old lady gives her a safe space and emotion strength. Her dad is a huge loss for Azreen. From Ashraf, she learns about unwritten love and emotional growth. And with the villagers, especially Puan Nomala, Azreen stands firm even when she was judged. And here I talk about motivations and goals. Azreen's goals changes over the course of the story. At first, she just wants to escape from her village, from judgment from her own father's emotional coldness. That's why she studies in England. When Madhuri dies, her goal becomes truth and justice. She refuses to believe in curses and gossip. Her mind is analytical. She wants evidence, not superstition. Internally, Azreen is not driven by guilt. She blames herself for her sister's disability and her mother's declining health. Her journey becomes one of forgiving herself. She also has a social goal to confront unfair traditions, and she directly changes the villagers and people like Puan Nomala, who uses fear to control others. As she says, there is no curse, just hatred and fear, dressed up as fate. Finally, her decision to return England is no longer about running away. It's about healing. She now understands herself and her past. She lives not to escape but to live with peace and purpose. And now we are here on conclusion. In conclusion, Azreen is one of the most powerful female characters in Malaysian literature. She is bold, intelligent, emotionally layered. She doesn't just uncover the truth about her sister, she uncovers the truth about herself. She confronts her guilt, forgives her father, and stands firm in a society that constantly tried to silence her. Through Azreen, Lee Su-an teaches us about courage, truth, and the power of emotional healing. She doesn't come unhurt, but she comes out stronger and mentally and physically. And that's what makes her unforgettable. And here we talk about personal reflection. What inspired me most was Azreen's emotional strength. Even when people judged her or hated her, she stood by truth. It reminded me that healing begins when we stop pretending and start facing things honestly.
So, what I admire the most about Azreen is her courage to speak up the truth, even when she is alone. She didn't follow what others believe, and she stood by what was right. Her journey reminds me that healing takes strength and honesty. Azreen shows that being different isn't a weakness, it's actually a bravery. Thank you.